And moving on to sports news now. After FIFA began its latest ballot of World Cup tickets, football supporters Europe has called on sales to be immediately halted because the prices are out of reach for many ordinary fans. Here's more on that story.
Soccer fans are getting angry about sky-high ticket prices for the 2026 World Cup. Football Supporters Europe, which represents fans, has demanded that FIFA immediately stop selling national team ticket allocations. The group says the sport's governing body is imposing, quote, incomprehensible ticket prices. FSE says a fan following their team all the way to the final would now have to pay at least $6,900, nearly 5 times more than the previous World Cup. Supporters will also have to pay everything up front in early 2026, just to secure the right to the tickets later.
A lot of people that were hesitating in traveling to the US are now saying that they need to take an extraordinary financial risk, especially if you're a family. We are in the region of $30,000 for a family of 4. The vast majority of football fans can't afford this, even in Europe.
To make matters worse, the cheapest seats will not be available to these loyal traveling fans. FIFA is keeping those seats for the general public and will change their cost according to demand using so-called dynamic pricing. FSE calls this a huge betrayal of real soccer fans.
We believe this approach is putting the very nature of the tournament at risk, because you need fans, you need the life in the stands, you need the color, you need the atmosphere, and with tickets that are going up to above $4,000 for the final, none of this will happen.
FSE says it's also the first time that group stage games will not all cost the same. Instead, FIFA plans to charge different prices depending on the fixture's attractiveness. That means fans of different teams could pay different prices for the same ticket category and stage, with little pricing transparency. Ivan is urging FIFA to think again.
We need to pause and consult their member associations and consult the impacted parties, including fans. If they do this and look at how much people are actually ready to put to attend a game to the World Cup, they will realize that they need to decrease their ticket.
And what are Americans saying about ticket prices for next year's FIFA World Cup? Soccer fans in New York's Times Square and Washington, D.C. shared their perspectives.
They're outrageously expensive. This guy would love to go, but unfortunately, us working class can't afford it.
I'd be willing to spend a couple $100. Nothing too crazy, because I live in a city that I'd have to travel to a different city to watch it. So, I have to factor in those costs as well.
I give you an example of how I think it's gotten ridiculous is in 1994 when the World Cup was here, I went to all the games at Dallas. And I'm not going to buy all those games because there's some games I don't want to see and don't want to pay that much money for anyway to see. And it's sad because when I went to the games in Dallas in 1994, I had fun watching soccer, but I had more fun watching the fans. I mean, they were amazing and would stay after and sing and dance, and the personality of the World Cup, I think, if people can't see that because they can't afford to go, is the shame of it. So.
I think they're pretty insane, honestly. I've been a long-time soccer fan, been watching since I was a kid. I remember watching the World Cup back in 2010, 2014, and I was pretty excited to watch this year and go to some of these games, but even though I have adult money, I can't really afford some of these tickets, which is just insane for the everyday fans.
Yeah, so I grew up watching it with my dad and my brother mainly. I think it's just seeing the love they have for the game. It's more personal. It's in our hearts, just watching all these teams, just feeling the tension with all these teams going back and forth, seeing who's better, who's bad, it's just fun. It's a good way to bond with our family as well. But these ticket prices, I just feel like it's so ridiculous. It's too hard.
I was seeing 4 digits, anywhere between the neighborhood of like 15 to 2,500 for the locations that would have been closest to me, which were Seattle and the California one. So pretty steep.
Yeah, I think it's crazy. I'm a huge soccer fan, and I used to live in Seattle, so I was definitely considering going to those, but I just don't think I can. And it's also crazy seeing hotel prices go up at the same time. Like, Seattle's one of the highest. It's gone up by like 450%. And so the opportunity for people to come who aren't even American to come support their teams, it's like...
I was pretty shocked when I first heard the numbers. It's disappointing, especially for fans who might be really, interested in the game itself, but maybe not in a financial position to swing that kind of price. I feel like every year tickets for these kinds of events seem to keep going up a little bit more, but that's a really big jump from the last World Cup event. So I hope that's not a trend that keeps continuing in that way, because it's going to be pretty much unattainable for anybody